What today is day 6 of water fasting for me. And I want to congratulate myself. Blessings to all my kings and queens. We here though. Starting off, of course, with my 7-day inspirational fast quotes. Um, Today is day 6, so we will start with: fasting purifies the soul. It lifts up the mind, and it brings the body into subjection to the spirit. It makes the heart contrite and humble, scatters the clouds of desire, puts, puts out the flames of lust and the true light of chastity. Today I'm going to be starting it off with hiccups because I've been going through having hiccups and I learned a lot about it. Um, so I have an understanding of why. Um, Hiccups while water fasting. Common causes of the symptom. Hiccups can have causes that aren't due to underlying disease. Examples include drinking too fast, which I do a lot, once in a while, eating fast, carbonated beverages, alcohol, smoking, or chewing gum. Self-treatment. Although there's still no proven treatment for hiccups, breathing into a paper bag, holding your breath, sipping cold water, or gargling with ice water may be worth trying. Hiccups can happen for many reasons. Some of them are physical and some emotional. That's because the actual irritation happens in the nerve connecting the brain to diaphragm. If you don't know what diaphragm is, I'll let you know after I'm done. Long-term hiccups. Long-term hiccups. Hiccups are usually temporary, but in rare cases, they can stick around for a while. It's usually because of damage or aggravation to the nerves connected to the diaphragm. Everything from hair, Everything from hair touching your eardrum to a sore throat can affect these nerves, and in more serious cases, a tumor, goiter, or cyst in the neck can damage them. I never knew a lot of this, so. The meaning of diaphragm: a dome-shaped muscular partition separating the thorax from the abdomen plays a major role in breathing as its contraction increases of the thorax and so inflates the lungs. Now I'm gonna get to, because I read and see a lot of people talking about salt, and I seen this video that was like, to me it made no sense, and to each his own, whatever. Like I always tell people, you do it your way, I'll do it my way. Does salt have calories? No salt does not have calories to foods. Salt does, however, cause the body. Salt does, however, cause the body to retain water. Water retention will negatively affect your weight loss efforts. In fact, salt has no calories at all. Consuming high amounts of salt can result in temporary weight gain because it causes your body to retain water. Sodium is not the culprit for weight gain, as it is calorie free. Sodium is consumed through salt, as it is major as it is the major component to salt. Increased weight can be a result of your intake of foods high on sodium, highly salted foods such as junk food, chips and fast foods, and packaged foods. I just wrote a couple down because I think that's enough and you get the point. Now I wanted to get into meditation and spiritual for your health and stuff like that. Fasting for health and spiritual development. Everyone agrees that food is necessary for the physical body. However, it is not sufficient to merely ensure that food is nutritious. Even the most nutritious foods become detrimental to the health if the body cannot assimilate them. Just because you are able to eat food does not mean you can digest it. The digestive process is very complex. Food has to be split up into so many components before it can be absorbed into the body. To digest the food you eat, you need 5 digestive secretions in proper balance, as well as a specific group of enzymes. Besides this, you need to correct inner body temperature, which varies in different areas of the body. From the mouth to the rectum, there are different zones. In the small intestines, one needs a constant temperature for a long period of time. In the stomach, you need a higher temperature for a maximum of 3 hours. If there is a higher temperature for longer than 3 to 4 hours, you will have hyperacidity and stomach ulcers. If you have a reduced temperature in the stomach and small intestines, then you will have indigestion. And if you have a higher temperature in large intestines, you will have diarrhea, dysentery, and colitis. Whenever there is indigestion or some other digestive disturbance, the inner temperature becomes very erratic, and all other symptoms of the body are disrupted sooner or later. Many degenerative processes and diseases develop in the way. This is why proper maintenance of the digestive process is necessary to preserve our physical health. This is achieved in 2 ways. Firstly, by adopting proper dietary habits, and secondly, by undertaking fasts from time to time. Whenever there is indigestion or I'm sorry, it is a fact that most of our diseases, whether they are physical or mental, are caused by overeating. Nobody dies on account of fasting. Nobody dies on account of fasting. But many people die on account of overeating. But many people die on account of overeating. Take notes, please. Fasting and feasting are 2 different things. By overeating, you disturb your digestive system, invite diseases, and create imbalance in the body. By fasting, you can create a balance in your digestive system and also in your nervous, circulatory, and coronary systems. We have to understand what is fasting in relation to our physical and mental health, and also for better spiritual experiences. Somopsychic or psychosomatic fasting is usually done to purify the physical body. But if the mind is very turbulent, then you can also resort to fasting. When food is in the body, it affects the mind, and when the body is not pure, the tranquility is disturbed. This is because in human existence, body and mind are separate. They interact upon each other. A body full of rubbish transfers the foul smell to the mind. A mind with evil thoughts transfers the evil influences into the body. You can never escape from the law. What affects the body affects the mind and vice versa, because the gross body is fed by food. The best way to purify it is by the system of fasting. It is a way of rousing ourselves from sleep to gain a higher level of health and to catch a glimpse of the higher possibilities of life. When Mahatma Gandhi was experimenting on the three principles of Satya, truth, Ahimsa, nonviolence, and Brahmacharya, celibacy, one of the things he practiced was fasting. Once he fasted for a period of 40 days. When he was asked why he exposed his body to such a rigor at the advanced age, he replied, for self-purification. When the self is purified, light shines. Then you begin to see things more clearly, just as you clean your bowels with laxatives. The self also has to be purified, but how to purify the self? Gandhi found that along with other practices, fasting was most powerful. Fasting and meditation. Fasting is a yogic practice because it reduces the tamasic element in the body. Tamas is the greatest obstacle to meditation. While fasting, extra we shed extra weight from the body and gain strength and clarity of mind. This is important. We cannot progress in meditation with a fat body and a weak mind. Therefore, fasting should be regarded by all aspirants as an independent yoga. Unless you practice fasting, it will not be possible to sit for long hours of meditation without incurring problems. During meditation, many of the physical processes are minimized. For instance, the inner body temperature falls below normal, the blood pressure and the respiratory rate are decreased, and the secretion and circulation of many of the hormones approach the baseline level. If your stomach is loaded at the time, the result is disastrous. Disturbed peristaltic waves and chaotic secretion patterns disrupt the whole digestive process due to the decreased temperature. Partially digested food sits in the small intestines and ferments, causing bad winds to be passed. Toxins are formed with the body, which the body cannot eliminate. So if you want to practice long hours of meditation, such as japa, remember that the stomach has to be empty. Fasting and long hours of meditation are two practices which always go together. Balancing the hormones. Management of our passions is another important aspect of life, which can be attained through regulated periods of fasting. Of course, passion is not bad, but we have to set some limits, otherwise, there will be no end to it. We can never satisfy our passions. It is like pouring a tin of ghee on the flames in order to extinguish them, in order to extinguish them. They will only roar up more furiously. On the other hand, if we suppress them later on, they will give us a kick. How to solve this dilemma? The best thing is to try fasting. Then the monster sleeps. I'm sorry if I keep like having to repeat certain things, but these letters are real small, so work with me, please. There comes a stage in life when the passions must be transcended. Imagine a candle is burning in the center of a room, but all the windows are wide open and the wind is very turbulent. So the candle is constantly being blown out. This continues all night until finally a wise man enters the room and suggests that you close the windows. What a brilliant idea. Now the candle can burn steadfastly without being extinguished. Similarly, as long as the turbulence of passion is blowing through the mind, how can the consciousness become stable? The light of consciousness is lit all the time. The spirit is illumined by nature. You are not the dark night. You are the effulgent candle which the tempest of passion keeps blowing out. Just as the windows must eventually be closed, so the passions will have to be contained at some point in life. They do not have to be killed or suppressed, but they will have to be given what we call a free exodus. Fasting, I have found, contains the passions. How does it do so? By balancing all the hormones that are secreted in the body. The various hormones circulating in the bloodstream produce different emotional reactions. For example, the thyroid secretions have their own influence on behavior, while adrenaline has another. Similarly, there are certain basic hormones secreted that are secreted by the posterior lobe of the pituitary gland, which are responsible for different types of passion, like violence, ambition, anger, and cruelty. Even the ordinary behavior in sexual life is a reaction of these same hormones. These hormones keep flowing in the bloodstream because that is the law of nature. And in order to grow in body and mind, they must flow, but sometimes these hormones are in excess, or there is an imbalance between them. When the hormone secretions flow into the body of excess, they create hysteria, epidemic fits, sudden violence, and suicide. These matters will eventually be tackled scientifically, but at present science does not have much idea about them. They have definitions and explanations, but they do not have any practical system which shows how to remedy the situation. What happens when we undertake fasting? During a period of fasting, a major process of harmonization between the different endocrine glands and their hormones occurs. The extraction and metabolism of the hormones from the bloodstream is accelerated. As a result, you will find your passions becoming more civilized and contained. Important fasting days. Fasting is a discipline which has been enjoyed by the various religious traditions since time immemorial. In Hinduism, however, this science has developed to a very high degree and is still very much alive today. Everyone in India knows about the special days of fasting, not only the saints and the swamis, but even the old people and the little children. According to the Hindu calendar, every month is divided into two lunar cycles, the bright fortnight and the dark fortnight. Both of these fortnights have a powerful influence over the biological functions of the human body. Every day is not the same with these cycles. On certain days, for example, the digestive system is very active, and on other days it is not. The 11th, 13th, and 15th days of the dark and bright fortnights are said to have disturbing effects on the body. mind, and emotions. Therefore, fasting is traditionally undertaken on these days in order to maintain balance within the whole system. On the 11th day, fasting is especially important for ladies because it has a stabilizing effect on the menstrual cycle, which generally occurs around this time. The cy- this cycle is a very important indication of health in the female body. It has often been observed that the menstrual cycle is either preceded or followed by a period of intense emotional turbulence. Therefore, fasting on these days helps the woman to balance her hormonal system as well as her emotions. Fasting on a dark and full moon days is considered to be very important, especially for unmarried boys and girls. It has been noticed that in most mental cases, disturbances become particularly acute around the dark or full moon periods. Thus, if a child exhibits peculiar, peculiar behavior, he is asked to fast on both these days. There is another important series of fasting days which is observed during the rainy season in the months of August and September. Whenever the rainy season occurs, whether in Europe, India, or Africa, it always disrupts the cycles and systems of the body. Therefore, in India, special days of fasting have been set aside during this period in order to stabilize the body process, particularly the digestive system. How to fast? Fasting days are necessary throughout the year in order to maintain a balance in the entire mental and emotional structure. Therefore, every family should fix a regular day for fasting. On the day on this day, do not take breakfast, lunch, or any snacks. Just have a light, warm meal in the evening. This is the simplest and most effective way to fast. If you follow this course of fasting for a year or two, your health will improve and you will gradually prepare yourself for longer fasting. For quick progress in spiritual life, you should fast once a week or a few times a month. If this is not possible, you can practice fasting for 9 or 10 days at a time. Every year, taking only the minimum requirement of fruit and practicing your mantra prayers or kriya yoga for at least 6 or 7 hours a day consecutively during this 9 day period of fasting. You will find the brain becomes very clear, concentration keen, and problems of the body are eliminated. Then you can easily sit one asana for several hours at a stretch. For those who have emotional, nervous, and and sexual problems, there is no better way than fasting. The mind will at once become quiet. Fasting, whether for physical well-being or a spiritual purpose, is a very scientific system in yoga as well as in religion. Everybody should learn the system of fasting. It should be a must to fast one day a week. By fasting, you are not going to lose anything. You are only going to gain, as I told you. Nobody dies from fasting, but people do die on account of overeating. A little project. During the time I was living with my guru in Rishikesh, I used to read the accounts of different saints, many of whom had practiced long periods of fasting in order to purify the body, mind, and soul. When I read about Gandhi's experiments with fasting, I was so inspired that I decided to try it myself. I have to get his book, Gandhi's book. He's written books and stuff. I did not have much experience with the science of fasting, so I started off gradually with a 3-day fast, which was rather unpleasant due to intermittent hunger. But after I broke the fast, I realized that these 3 days without food had been the most peaceful days of my life. During this period, whatever I undertook was successful and my decisions were always correct. So I decided to try a longer fast of 40 days. I began the fast with all sincerity. For the first few days, I took only light fruits. After 15 days, I took only water, and finally nothing at all. In the beginning, I was very hungry, but after a few days, the hunger subsided and I experienced deep peace within myself. My body became very light and the weakness passed off, so that I was able to participate in the ashram work during those days. I had the difficulties, everything was spontaneous. I was able to practice my sadhana without any efforts. The fast was going very smoothly right up to the 28th day, when there was a great celebration in the ashram to commemorate the 16th the 6th the 60th birthday of my guru. At that time, an enormous amount of sweets was prepared, enough to distribute to 10,000 people. As fate would have it, my guru thinking me to be the most almost got lost abstemious and well-controlled disciple, decided to put me in charge of the entire store. Whenever the inmates came for sweets, I supplied whatever amount they asked for: 1 kilo, 5 kilos, 10 kilos. My mind was made up not to eat any myself. But then I thought, after all, it is a very sacred day. That is the harm of taking a little prasad. Prasad, I'm sorry. That was the mischief. If you want to look up prasad, is Prasad. That was the mischief of the mind. At first, I took only one piece, and it was extremely tasty. Then I took another, and you cannot imagine how much I finally took. So I broke my fast before completing 40 days, but I had no regrets. He already did 28 days, so that bless him for getting through that. Um, but I had no regrets. It still helped me in every respect and brought me nearer to my aim in life. The second time I fasted was for 120 days. And during this period, I observed complete silence and closed my door from inside. Occasionally, a boy used to bring some fruits for me. During those 4 months, I practiced many things, and my spiritual experiences were another matter. I wanted to share this with you because I really thought it was a real good uh story that I felt that maybe I could share with you guys because I liked it. Um, and it's about meditating and yoga, and I've been trying to learn and research a lot about meditating. So this was like real good for me, and it helped me out a lot. I was everybody has their beliefs or certain ways of fasting. If you're trying to reach a certain mark, you should follow that. I mean, come on, 7 days, 7 days ain't shit. And within 7 days, you're not gonna be able to reach exactly what you're trying to reach. To me, like I said, to each his own. So this is why I decided to, after tomorrow, uh, start another 7 days, and maybe a few more days after that. Cause like I said before, 420 is around the corner, and I want to be able to enjoy and any days that you complete as fasting is a blessing and is a reward. So you should pat yourself on the back and be grateful and you know and be happy that you were able to make it through. If you're trying to reach a 7 day mark, push yourself to reach it. Even if there's you know symptoms and stuff like that that you've never had before, but common sense with all the videos that I have posted up, I've given you all the symptoms, and I've explained to you why you go through certain things in your body. So um, just pay attention, and listen to my videos, do research and stuff like that, like I do. Um, because everybody has their beliefs, everybody has their ways of doing things. Me personally, I am not gonna consume salt like this person had added in one of his videos, which I don't know, it just didn't make sense to me anyway. But even whatever, I'm still not gonna do it. I'm strictly doing water and that's it. And if I choose to do herbal tea within a few days of my second week, then I do that. Um, but I feel good. I went to sleep early yesterday, so I was able to sleep real good, which your body needs it, especially when you're fasting. You do need um, to get sleep because that's key and that's very important in your life when fasting. Very important in general, even if you're not fasting. So just be careful what you put in your temple. I mean, I've done research from doctors. I've done research from herbalists. I've done research from people that have done fasting before. And I'm not talking about seven days. They've done a lot of days. 21, 31, 41. You got this one dude that I actually wrote up on it, but I'll probably do that tomorrow. That he did 300 and something days of fasting under the supervision of doctors and stuff like that, and they was injecting him with certain things after a few days, and he was able to lose 200 and something pounds. So and he was overweight, and after he did that, he kept his they kept doing researches on him for 2 years, and he kept his balance to 200 always. He never went above the 200. When he was done with the fasting, I think he was 180. But after that, like his balance would be 200, but nothing more. So I salute him and God bless him, and that's a major accomplishment um, for him to be able to do that. Um, and besides that, trying to see if I have more time. Probably do this real quick. I wrote down a few herbs, because I like to give people herbs and stuff like that at times, so they could, do research, look into it and stuff. And I don't just make them up. I get it from this book, which is the Alkaline Herbal Medicine. If you are curious about it, look it up and buy it. I was able to be blessed to somebody to allow me to read up on it and do research and look. And when I look at certain herbs, I look up certain words to see exactly what it is and what's the benefits and stuff like that. But uh, Nopal, which is Nopal, a Puntia prickly pear, Nopal cactus is the paddle of the Opuntia cactus, which also produces the prickly pear fruit. Nopal contains numerous phytochemicals, antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. It is used to reverse type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, obesity, alcohol, hangover, colitis, diarrhea, and viral infections. Nettle. Well, I didn't get to nettle was page 66. Has anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, diuretic, antioxidant, antimicrobial, anti-ulcer, and analgesic activities. Nettle root is used for an enlarged prostate, for joints, and as diuretic and astringent. Nettle leaves are used for arthritis, sore muscles, hair loss, anemia, poor circulation, diabetes, enlarged spleen, allergies, eczema, eczema, and rash and asthma. Nettle is used as a general health tonic and blood purifier. So that's real good, man. These herbs ain't no joke, man. Like if the world was to know about herbs, trust and believe they wouldn't be depending on medication and killing their bodies and just ruining their bodies with toxins. The next one is prodi prodigis prodigiso. Wait, prodigiosa. I had to break it down because some of these words, a lot of these words is from other countries. So, um, prodigiosa, which is Prodigiosa. So if y'all want to look it up, again, Prodigiosa. Amula, Hamula, Kalia, dream herb, cheech bitter grass is used in traditional medicine to stimulate pancreas and liver secretions, increasing biosynthesis and evacuation of bile from the gallbladder. It is used to treat diarrhea, stomach pain, and gallbladder disease as it is used to treat diabetes by controlling blood sugar levels. It is used to treat headaches and fever, has anti wait anti-anxiety properties, and induces a vivid dream state. A little out of it today. Not in a bad way. Just sometimes when you have a lot of shit on your mind, um, that's why you gotta have a clarity. That's why you gotta have clarity, and and just try to block everything out. I think that's about it. Well, I'll do one more. Red clover, meadow honeysuckle, meadow trefoil, purple clover, trefoil, wild clover, cleaver grass, marl grass, cow grass, has anti-cancer, diuretic, expectorant, and sedative, anti-inflammatory properties. Red clover is used for its estrogen properties to relieve menopausal symptoms. I'm sorry. Red clover is a blood purifier and is used to break up calcification in soft tissues, to clean the lymphatic system of fluid waste. That'll be it. I'll probably do some tomorrow. I have a few written down, but I'm good. So I hope this was helpful. Um, I know a lot of y'all that be looking into my videos and stuff like that. Don't be showing no love or commenting and stuff like that, which I'm not expecting people to, but show some support. And take my videos and post them on your Facebook, so people could be aware and alert. Cause what you might not care about, other people might be lost and need help to be able to guide them on certain things. So just remember that each one teach one. I'm able to help people, I'm gonna do it. I'm not greedy with information. Um, I think a lot of people be dumb, deaf, and blind. I'm not saying in a disrespectful way. I'm saying that a lot of people don't have the knowledge of anything, are so accustomed to believe in the media, um, and just always used to since a kid living a certain life. Um, I chose to become vegan for a lot of reasons and purposes besides not eating meat. I'm against animal cruelty, so um, that's my decision. I chose to, and I respect everybody's way of thinking and what they eat and everything. That's your body, that's your temple. It's not mine. So if that's what you choose to do, that's on you. But if I could teach people on certain things, which I'm gonna start doing videos later on, probably a month from now, about certain things you put in your temple and what causes sicknesses and stuff like that. Um, so like I said, I don't push anybody or try to force them to do something, But if I could teach you, I'm gonna teach you. And if you're mature enough and open-minded to hear things and be able to take notes and do um, investigate yourself, then that's a blessing. I'm out. I'm very excited that I was able to get it off, and I hope whoever's going through water fasting has the willpower and strength and are surrounded by positive people. Because let me tell you something, living or being around negative people, it doesn't help at all. Doesn't help at all. A lot of people also remember that um, they're gonna say or do anything possible um, to hate on you because they see what you're doing because they know they can't do it. And everybody's a scientist. When you're trying to do something better for your health and your life, everybody's a scientist. Everybody's a doctor. Everybody's fucking Dr. Phil, and they know the fucking answers to everything. But if you look at themselves, they're not fucking good at all. And they eat fucking toxins and eat everything that they shouldn't be eating. So, whatever. Whatever. We out.
On, perhaps a little more room. Come see, I'd like to put an amend on. Perhaps a little more room here for the fixins. You know what I'm talking about? Ooh.
Just know we made it. So whoever doing it and they're ready to get into that phase, use this as an anthem. That's what I do. Ready for day 7 tomorrow. I'm so excited. I can't fucking wait. It's a beautiful thing and a blessing. Um, Hope you guys have a great night. I'll be watching my favorite show on Netflix, which is Surviving Escobar. I love it. I'm hooked on it. Um, I definitely have mind over matter. I could see food on the screen. I could see food on TV. I could see people eating food. It doesn't bother me at all. not one bit. Because when you choose to do something and that's what you want to do, you're going to give your all. I'm out. Blessings to all the kings and queens and brothers and sisters. And enjoy your night. And be happy. Be happy that you're here, that you see another day, and that you was blessed. I'm out.